Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my 30 Days of Thankfulness series. I am working today on creating some embellishments. I wanted to create some of these prior to the actual month. This way I had some of them already pre-made. It made the pages a little bit easier to come together. And I just thought that that would just make the process much easier. What I'm doing is I'm taking the paper pad that I showed you in an earlier video and I'm just using my punches. I'm cutting out some of the cut apart sheets. I am fussy cutting some of the pictures and things like that on the paper pad to make some various embellishments. So I'm just kind of showing this at the beginning so you can kind of see what I was doing and what I was using. And here you're going to see that I have all the little shapes and things cut out. And this is what I'm going to use to make the little embellishment clusters. I'm using a lot of the punch shapes and things as a base and then adding on the little fussy cut pieces and wood veneer and different things like that. So I'll show you here in a minute what the wood veneer looked like as well. It is going to be, oh, and some washi tape too. I forgot about the washi tape. This is going to match a lot of the pages in the collection. So this is wood veneer that I've had in my stash for quite some time. I have some hearts, butterflies, stars, some arrows, and things like that. So this is where I'm going to kind of get started. I think what I'm going to probably do is I'll walk you through a few of these and then I will put some music on so you guys can kind of watch the rest of the process. And then I'll come back at the end of the video just to kind of give you kind of a summary of the clusters and things that I made. So like I said earlier, I am using a lot of the punched shapes as bases, and then I'm just layering the different things that I had showed you earlier. I'm layering some of the punched hearts, I'm layering the washi tape, the wood veneers, and I'm just trying to use a couple different things to keep some variety but then also have some cohesiveness, and that's why I'm using the same papers and washi tape and that throughout the clusters. I'm also going to be, a little bit later on, I'm going to be using some of the same copper thread that I used for the Traveler's Notebook album, and I'm also going to make little like thread nests to also add a little bit of texture and dimension to these different embellishment clusters. So I'm just going to kind of put you guys on, keep you guys on fast forward and let you guys listen to some music while you watch some of these embellishments being made, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. So I wanted to come back on just for a little bit and go through a little bit more of what I've done so far. So you see that I'm just kind of keeping some of the ones that I've completed up at the top, so you can kind of view those while you're watching me make some of the other embellishments. That one that I made with the banners, that one I did use some gesso on it. I believe I did show you guys the bottle, but it was just some white gesso. I thought that the square was a little too dark and the banners were kind of fading into the background, so I wanted to use some white gesso just to kind of mute that color, and then I thought that the flags popped up a little bit more off of the square shape. And then I also added a little bit of pen work around each of the banners, and that also helped kind of it pop. Also, something that I did was I ended up on that pumpkin spice one, I ended up just doing some very simple embellishing, just pointing to the pumpkin spice word and then adding the cluster of the heart and the leaf to that one. So some of the ones that I'm making so far are really simple. Some of them are much more complicated. The one like the little fox one in the top right corner, that one I did a lot more work. I added a lot of layers of washi tape. I added little Tim Holtz word phrase, things like that. So these things can be as easy or as complex as you'd like them. And this is why I like making these in advance, because I can work with them and play with them and make them as complex right now as I want to. And then it doesn't take away from me creating the pages when I'm actually going to do the project. That way I can really focus on my stories and things like that. Especially with this being a thankful album, I thought it would be good to put some more focus and emphasis on the stories. Even though I really like doing the embellishing, I can kind of do that beforehand like I'm doing here, and then I can focus on the actual stories when I am working in the album itself. So that's another reason, or another reason why you might want to make these embellishments first, because depending on what you're doing, how your month's going to go, what you want to focus on, some different things that you might be doing could be distracting, and this is one way to keep you from being distracted from maybe what the meaningful part of the project is for you. So I'm just going to keep moving on here. I am adding some thread here. I was having some problems, or in general the copper thread is a lot more unruly, so I ended up putting a little bit of glue down and then I added the thread on top of that, and it just kind of helped things stick. And then, like I said, some of these are a little bit more simple than others. That one I just did with the butterfly was much more simple. Just put a little nest of thread, a wood veneer, and then a word phrase that said family, and then that one's done. Here is another one that I thought was kind of fun. Is I took an arrow piece, and the arrow was a little plain and I was kind of tired of using the plain wood veneer, and what I did was I just put some washi tape on it, and because it's a simple shape I just trimmed around the washi tape, and now you have a colored embellishment that looks like you got it from the store, but you just add a little bit of washi tape to it. So that's another suggestion. If you have those really simple shapes, that you can add a little bit of washi tape to them and then make them a lot more unique. So I'm going to let you watch this a little bit more. I'll be back in just a minute or two with the closeout of the whole video. So stay tuned and I'll be back in a second. that's just about wrapping up the embellishments. I'm just finishing off this last one here where I'm making a little flag banner and gluing it down, and then I'm going to add a few little fussy cut leaves to the in-betweens of each of the banners, just using my wet glue there. And that glue is the Scotch Quick Dry. I think that's what it's called now, or maybe that's the old name. I can't quite remember, but it is a Scotch product. You can get it at Michael's, and it really works very well, and it dries clear. So it's a perfect glue to use for this type of thing. So here is what the clusters look like at the very end. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Thanks, guys, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.